what 90-day pipeline taught me as well, and this is another huge benefit, is this is a process. And if you're moving, we'll show you what the process is. And if you're moving and doing each step and you're successful in each step, then guess what? You are going to ultimately be successful. 90-day pipeline, what was great about it was structured, and it helped me to understand what I needed to do first, second, and third. It wasn't overly structured though. So what I mean by that was it worked, what was set up, the things that I engaged with from the video perspective, and then from the weekly sessions of various types, and then, with my coach. There was a place there for really understanding what my particular business was. So I did a lot of the work myself, I guess I'd say upfront in the initial modules, and that's how it's supposed to be. But then once I had that nailed down, then it was much easier for me to get value out of the other parts of the program, including the meetings with the rest of the cohort, as well as with my coach. Now what's interesting too is, so I've been through 90-day pipeline, and I'm about to join Momentum Mastermind. I might be a little different than most people in that was a gap between when I finished 90-day pipeline and when I'm joining Momentum Mastermind. And I want to explain this a little bit because it's really valuable to understand what happened. So after I finished 90-day pipeline, I was primed and I went out and started doing what I was taught. And all those things that are in my CRM are a result of what I learned and what I've been doing. As time went on, what I began to see was, wow, there's this target market that I really want to hit harder, and I can't access it to the degree that I want to with what I learned. So then I had a follow-up call with Ahmad, and we talked it through, and he came up with a very good solution for how to address that target market. So that, combined with the fact that I really can use the ongoing coaching and guidance, made joining Momentum Mastermind a really easy decision. One of the things that I did before I started 90-day pipeline was to build a CRM system. And you might say, like, that's sort of silly. Like, why would you do that before you had even engaged in any marketing and sales training? Well, I knew from the businesses that I've been part of that it was essential to keep track of every opportunity, how it grew, and how it died in many cases, and that sort of thing. So I went to monday.com, software as a service is a beautiful thing, and I set that up. So if I could show you my CRM right now, it's got dozens and dozens of entries. It had 0 when I started with the 90-day pipeline. And what's happened is I've learned so much from 90-day pipeline about what I need to do on a daily basis that the CRM fills up, right? I get more and more opportunities. I give you one really good example. Because of the industry that I'm in, it's pharmaceuticals, and it's very conservative, and the sales cycles are long, and all that has to be taken into consideration. Ahmad gave me some suggestions before I even officially joined, and then we followed up on that the whole time I was part of the program. One of those suggestions was to look for partnerships. And if I could show you the CRM, you'd see there's probably 6 or 7 of them there at this point. And they have been extremely valuable. And as a matter of fact, he was right on the money, that there in those partnerships, it's frequently much easier to address your target market and to put an offering out there that is that has more desirability to a client. So my business is fundamentally different than before I started with 90-day pipeline. And again, what I mean by that is all the practical things about how to do marketing and sales properly, I've learned and I'm implementing. And again, the results are showing up in the CRM. So it's really important before you think about joining 90-day pipeline to understand what your business has and what it doesn't have. And since most of us are in some form of consulting business, what you have is what you know. Sometimes what you built, but often it's what you know. And so here's the problem, is that you really need to be honest with yourself about what you know about marketing and selling what you're going to do? And do you really understand the consulting market and how to position yourself? If the answer is no, then 90-day pipeline is an excellent and efficient investment. It's worth it. If you don't know how to answer that question, then get that question answered first. Find out what the gaps are in your knowledge, and then see whether or not 90-day pipeline is the way to fill that gap. But for me, where I was very clear that I lacked really that specific consulting oriented marketing and sales capabilities, it was a perfect fit.